Wellington is Acting Police Commissioner Viv Rickard. Hello there, Mr Rickard. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
The New South Wales Commissioner, in that interview that you heard a moment ago, said, police spend around 70% of their time in New South Wales dealing with alcohol-related crime. What do you imagine, or what do you estimate the percentages here?
I think New Zealand's very similar to the New South Wales picture. He was talking 70%. We've looked at some of our demand profile in terms of alcohol. We see particularly Thursday, Friday nights and Saturday that we have between 70 and 80% directly related to alcohol. We also estimate that around 18% of our budget's actually spent on our response in dealing with alcohol issues, so it's quite significant.
We'll get to the situation in Christchurch in just a minute, but we've seen a number of proposals from around the country suggesting ways that you can perhaps restrict the availability of alcohol. What would you like to see on a national scale?
Yeah, I think similar issues in terms of New South Wales. Look, there's no panacea here. It's a package of approaches in terms of how we might deal with alcohol. I agree with Commissioner Scipione in terms of the cultural issue, but we'll just park that for a second. I think the issues around trying to manage those premises that aren't operating effectively and appropriately is entirely the right way to go. We also think in terms of things like marketing, the alcohol content, the changes in terms of what's happening in our drinking, i.e. a lot of preloading, are things that it's a problem, but also gives us an opportunity to approach that problem.
So Andrew Scipione said earlier in the program that they had targeted specific pubs and areas where there was a real problem of alcohol-related crime. Is that something you think that New Zealand Police could consider?
New Zealand Police is already doing that. So we do that right throughout the country. We have very good information intelligence. We have a prevention focus. So what we're trying to do is get into those difficult establishments before problems occur. What I can say is, look, most New Zealanders are good people, but unfortunately in the early hours of the morning under the influence of alcohol, they make bad decisions. So we're trying to get to deal with the issue before people become intoxicated, and that's the challenge.
Do you have any particular concerns about Christchurch in light of the crime stats out this week? Does that city worry you a little bit?
No, look, I think it needs to be taken into in terms of the context. I've talked earlier previously about the fact that Christchurch is their crime figures really take them back to before the 2011 earthquake. They've had a number of high-profile alcohol-related incidents, so that brings Christchurch back into being. But the reality is, Christchurch is a vibrant city. It's under construction, and I think Marty, your taxi driver that I saw, was quite insightful. I thought a lot of his comments were right on the mark in terms of a city that has a lot of areas of focus in terms of out in the suburbs in terms of drinking, that stretches resources in terms of trying to prevent things happening, that diminishes our opportunities. And I think the Christchurch Police are trying to bring back a sense of coordination in terms of how we drink alcohol and are entertained at night time.
And by that do you mean the fact that the CBD is no longer sort of, along the strip, the drinking focus has moved and it's a little bit further out and it's all in the suburbs? Does that make the job harder for police, the fact that sort of the party areas, if you like, are now more widespread in different pockets around the city?
100%. We're spreading our resources to deal with problems all over the place, and I think one of our approaches down there was to try and get coordinated in terms of drinking hours. So basically putting to the council that we thought that the latest hours of drinking should be up to 3 o'clock. That should be only reserved for the areas within the entertainment strip. That people could not get into licensed premises after 1 o'clock. So that stops people walking in between premises between 1 and 3 when they close. And those outer suburb areas that are to be closed by 1 o'clock. Now, I think that still brings the opportunity for an entertainment precinct in a city, a vibrant city. But with 30,000 more workers down there, we've got to be very careful about what happens to that city over the next 10 years.
Indeed. Would you like to see that proposal, though, the lock-in effectively that comes in from 1 and all bars shut from 3, would you like to see that on a national scale?
No, from our perspective, it's all dependent on the particular city, the particular issue. So some cities are slightly different in terms of their problems. So what we've identified throughout the country is you bring a your solutions are based on the problems in that particular city, rather than just have a blanket approach. At the moment, the liquor bans are an example of that, where we can actually take different approaches to the extent of the liquor ban, how wide it goes, the hours it relates to, and I think that just shows that local solutions to local problems.
Give us an idea too of the challenges that Christchurch faces, because it is a construction city. You've talked about 30,000 workers down there. You've got a lot of young men, good chunk of foreign men. They're earning good money down there, and they're spending it, I suspect, on entertainment a lot of the time. What are the challenges that throws up to police?
Well, I can tell you about this. Crime in general, most people that are offenders are 24 years and under. So, close to 80%, I said, in terms of those people that we arrest are affected by alcohol. So when you connect those two things, lots of males, alcohol, you could have problems in the future. Hence the reason that the Christchurch Police, quite rightly, are trying to get in early and develop the type of area it is to show actually you still can come into the city and be entertained, but this is the way we want to behave in Christchurch. Rather than just have a free-fall. So I think it's quite sound, their approach.
Do you have enough police there, or do you need more, do you think, in Christchurch?
This isn't about police numbers. This is actually how we use our people, and it's not just about us. This problem isn't just about policing. It's actually how we connect up with others. I think we've got some really good liquor establishments down there. I think we've got, I'm really impressed by our leadership and police down there and our police staff. So we've got the right mix of people. It's just how we use that resource and connect up with other agencies and groups.
All right, Acting Police Commissioner Viv Rickard, appreciate your time. Thank you.